Hello, I'm Catherine Fungai Ngangira. Recently, my spiritual director asked me what I had learned about hope from a difficult period I had just gone through. I responded, hope is like an ember always within me because I believe in Jesus Christ. But it requires constant fanning for it to be kept alive and burning. Hope is not something that you talk about, but it is something that is lived out. And in this chapter of Hope and the Church of England, I aim to answer a question asked by Tariro, a young woman exploring the Christian faith. Tariros wanted to understand more about the faith she had learned about, observed in her friends, and her little experience. But she also wanted to make sense of the Church of England as an institution. She was very much aware of the differences between the stories about it and the lived experiences of people within it. And having been involved in a rural parish church, she had experienced the joys and challenges of parish life. So she asked me, where do I see the Church of England in 30 years' time? I seek to answer this question through the image of a crossroad, an image that captures my own experiences of mission and ministry in the church. The church is at a crossroads, faced with challenges that require critical decision-making. And this is in a variety of issues, ranging from diversity and inclusion and mission and ministry. But to be at a crossroads is an invitation for someone to choose a direction and to decide where to go to next. So for me, the starting point is a response that is rooted in hope. Hope in the face of what seems like a hopeless state of the church, defined by declining numbers, divisive theological issues, and an urgent need for proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ. The truth is, there is hope. Now, this hope is rooted in Jesus Christ. It is not an escape of the reality and the challenges that we face, but it is a response to it. Because hope emerges from the very struggles and contradictions that characterizes human existence, which includes the Christian life. The tensions and the discomfort we experience at the crossroads reflect the life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It is in that space between the cross, the death, and the resurrection where hope emerges, where hope is born. Now, the painting called Hope by George Frederick Watts captures this beautifully for me. Some critics have suggested that the painting should have been called Despair, because at first glance, what you see is just a dark and gloomy image. The woman in the painting is blindfolded and plays a harp that has got just one string left. All the others are broken. But yet, the more you keep looking, you realize it is in this apparent hopelessness state where the painting actually conveys the reality and the existence of hope. It's not the absence of the struggles, but it is the presence of faith and perseverance that offers a glimpse of hope. Now, the Church of England faces many challenges today, and its future is uncertain. But even in these uncertain moments, there is a reason for hope. And when I look at the work being done in local parishes, when I see how God is at work in the churches that I am a part of, I realize that there is God's presence in these areas. I am reminded that God is still powerfully present and at work. His faithfulness continues, both now and in the future. So therefore, our response at the crossroads we find ourselves as a church should be one of embracing the tensions, the challenges, the questions of this moment. This Lent, let us pause and reflect on God's faithfulness. And as we do so, let us consciously listen and allow the Holy Spirit to guide us. Not only through the cross and the grave, but towards the empty tomb and the promise of a new life.
Hello, my name's Kezia Patterson, and I've written a chapter on why we need a vision for hope in politics. I've spent the last 5 years assisting with the work of the Archbishop of Canterbury in Parliament, and I firmly believe that as Christians we have a role to play in bringing blessing to this nation. We're living in unsettling times, a time of shaking. Many people have lost trust in our political system, and we're facing many challenges at home and abroad. How, as Christians, should we respond as we see things shake around us? 3 phrases come to mind: hope bringers, solution bearers, and reconcilers. As Christians, we see with the long view. God has been present in our history, and time and again we have seen him bring renewal in moments of decline. Like heroes of history, Wilberforce, Bonhoeffer, Shaftesbury, we can look at dark situations with eyes that see an eternal view. We can live with wild, bright hope. But more than this, we have the privilege of partnering with God to be part of the solution. As Christians, we have the unique advantage of direct access to the God of all wisdom, who loves and cares for us and for our world. We can speak to him about the challenges that we're facing, big and small, and we can ask for his wisdom and kingdom solutions. And finally, as things continue to fracture, we're called to be people who bring reconciliation. We're living in a day of tribalism, of social media mobs, and polarization. But as Christians, we hold that there is something bigger that unites us, beyond the partisan politics of left and right. Kingdom comes before tribe. Imagine if the church were to rise up and be bridge builders, people who enable reconciliation between political tribes, and also between communities and people who hold power. Connection and cooperation are going to be essential if we're to maintain and rebuild trust in our political system and deal with some of the major challenges that we're facing. And as Christians, we have unique resources to help with this. In The Lord of the Rings, Frodo says to Gandalf, "I wish it need not have happened in my time." Gandalf's reply is memorable. He says, "So do I, and so do all who live to see such times." But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. We're living in serious times, but as Christians, we live with eternal hope. Will you join us on the journey of becoming hope bringers, solution bearers, and reconcilers? What will you do with the time that is given to you?